Yo, I'm currently going over the timestamps for the iPhone plus OBS view of the 5 a.m. storm from the 15th. And I've already uploaded it, kind of, but I'm adjusting some of the stuff here because I noticed, first of all, like, I brought up something about Metal Gear Solid, this video, which I had put in other uh, what am I trying to say? Other storm videos, and it's like this part when I'm talking about pulling lightning down from the sky. Um, and I was talking about like here, I'll just go to the moment when I say it in the video. Yeah, I think the pulling lightning from the sky thing. This definitely seems like that scene in Metal Gear Solid where Raiden, some kind of thunder deity in Japan, Raiden and uh, Solid Snake are in that hallway tunnel, and there's all those like weird female ninja things, uh, and like Raiden's like, "I'll protect you, Snake," and like, kind of feels like that, and it kind of feels, you know, it feels like you probably have to admit, well, Yahweh is probably the god of thunder and lightning and everything else, but okay, yeah, I'm gonna end this here. So I'm putting in this video, and I'll just we can just watch some of it. But this is a part from Metal Gear Solid 4. Um, 4. Uh, but one thing I just noticed, I might have said this before, but is Old Snake supposed to be my dad? Like Ray? Is this supposed to be Rayfield? Because I was looking at it, and he's like got a mustache, like a white mustache and white hair. I realize that happens when you get older. I mean, his name is no longer even Solid Snake; it's Old Snake. But uh, and at one point, my dad was Solid. You get what I'm saying? Like, I even have the pictures of him with the fro and everything. But uh, so, and then like we're getting to a point in some kind of in something where it's like this is how some kind of Japanese AI sees us, and it doesn't want to admit that I'm Yahweh because that would ultimately give up control. Like some kind of something sees us like this, and like it used Hideo Kojima to like put this into some kind of form that could then be made into art. And like if I didn't get it, then it would be like, oh, I'm just like lost in the chaos. But it seems like I'm ordering the chaos, and this just exactly seems like what I'm talking about. And so you have like this is what I'm talking about, where I feel like I'm being watched by a bunch of like psychologically abusive women um, who like are completely willing to like destroy my reality in order to not get called out in front, like for being everything they claim to hate. And like you know as I'm going through Emily Ratajkowski's stuff, there's like things that say like, hold on, this is a good example, I think. Like you see these people with signs and stuff, people over power, and it's like, well, it seems like she's working for some kind of power structure that's trying to upend me. And like, there's all sorts of stuff like in her pictures and other, you know, a number of these other women that are like playing a part in this that seem to be like, it says "in" on her shirt, and it's like the whole point is to convey a message in a plausibly deniable way. But my point has been that, okay, well, if I pull lightning from the sky, like up to a point, you probably could get away with this. But if I pull lightning from the sky, you're fucked. Like it's beyond all recognition. You are fucked. And it looks like I'm getting pretty close to pulling lightning from the sky. It's like every day has to be more and more uncomfortable. So for them, for me, it's like, just another day. But when this is the kind of person when she's like, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Well, it looks like someone was trying to be unjust to me and has been, and instead of helping me, like I kind of asked or like signaled like maybe I'd like, they joined the side of the oppressor and they've been beating me over the head with their sexuality. Maybe because they've been paid to do so, but it could just be because they're terrible, shitty people. That's what it seems like. Again, right after I made the mix in 20, like I can. There's a couple things I want to show. Right after I made the uh, mixtape come in 2018. So she posted this. I don't exactly know when. I reposted this, and this doesn't show the whole picture, but because it squares it under Mixcloud. But on my computer here, I mean on my laptop, uh, can I show this? So is this going to be even possible to capture? I could. I don't really want to do. I don't want to take my. How can I do this well? Can you see this? You see how it says date modified 12/16/17? Okay, that's when this was made. So, or I'm sorry, date added 12/15/17. That's when this was originally, that's when I made this mix. Okay, so you'll have to flip this upside down or just flip whatever you're watching my private hard drive. You'll have to flip it over. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. But I'm not gonna like undo how I have my setup just to show this number. Just realize like this is when I made this. You probably already know anyway because most people I think have been watching by that point anyway. So and on the actual artwork, you can see that I reposted it under my Yo Matt Ya Instagram on September 19th. And with this like the way I was doing like this interesting thing where I tiled the pictures and then you had the main picture here. Um but I was looking for it and I can't seem to find that picture, interestingly enough. Also, see why? Do you see why? When I pull lightning down out of the sky, you're fucked? Yeah, you should see why. You get what I'm saying? It's the end. You get it? So, you know, I think Yahweh's given whoever Jezebel is, or maybe there's a number of women, but I have a feeling it's one woman in particular, and I think probably the other women will look at her and like, all right, we'd rather she die and we not get called out than all of us. You know what I mean? So someone's gonna get what it says, and then probably gonna get thrown under the bus. I would suggest, as a woman, that you don't let it be you. Like as a person, you should act in your own interest and say, I don't want that to be me. So I would say Alessandra Ambrosio, you could throw her under the bus, or Emily Ratajkowski, you could throw Ratajkowska. Imrata, you could throw Alessandra Ambrosio under the bus, but someone's going to be super fucked in this situation, and I would suggest you don't let it be you. But I think rationally, unlike a lot of people. So anyway, Yahweh. So the reason I'm on her Instagram to begin with is like, first I was looking for in this. Snake! Let's watch a little more, and then I'll explain why directly I was looking in her Instagram. So you have these. Maybe this is the Jezebel one because she's like the first one in. And I'm pretty sure it's a she because she has tits. And look, they're using it. Notice it's even she or it or whatever is even gripping her like right arm with that has a blade in it. That's what I've been saying. You hold your right arm is your sword, right? That's what you hold a sword with. And she's holding her right arm with her left arm and like bracing it. They're all doing that because they all act in unison because maybe they're all tied together in some kind of weird thing. But probably you cut the head off a snake, the rest of the snake slithers away or it dies. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be the head, right? Because there's opportunity when Jezebel dies that the other women, whoever's playing the game with her, you could not be as fucked as she is. But Jezebel is beyond fucked. It's hilarious to me how fucked she is, but okay.
They're not working.
Also, notice how Snake has a. Maybe it's. I mean, it could be Raphael. It could be me. It could just be a joke saying that I'm old. But look at this point. But he has a mustache, so I assume it's my dad. The my dad's just a little fatter, but at one point he was pretty lean and in the army now, and you know, whatever. So he has the thing over his left eye as well.
Come on! Get up! On your feet, Snake!
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know the canon behind them. These, like, whatever the Metal Gear canon is, I can just clearly see that they have tits. I mean, you should be able to as well. I guess in modern day that doesn't mean anything, but we'll just take it as a context clue that they're women. But who knows? Japanese god of lightning and thunder? Or the Mortal Kombat character? Or or Raiden from Metal Gear? Hold on. Hold on. Initial concept. Should just probably say Matt Wilkins. But where the fuck is... Again, it just seems like an AI is trying to like make art around my reality and like sell it. And it can, that's how it gets people to do it because it makes money for people. Am I just missing the part where it says his name is based on... Okay, it says it's based on a Mitsubishi J2M Raiden, but obviously not because this character has lightning powers, so it's pretty clearly based on the like the Japanese deity that here it doesn't in what's it called? Mortal Kombat doesn't beat around the bush. The character of Raiden is based on the Japanese deity Raijin, Thunder God, literally Thunder God. Um, so or this deity that can control thunder and lightning. I think more than any deity named Raiden, there's a guy in Houston called Matt Wilkins, and he clearly shows more power over lightning than and thunder than any uh, deity, any deity or person that I've ever seen. And I see a lot, but these are just made up. This is a made up character. Maybe there was someone at one point who like had a spirit that could do something similar to what I'm doing, but definitely not It isn't Yahweh, and definitely isn't even at this point doesn't seem like anything close. And what I'm getting at is it seems like they just rebranded me as Raiden and gave me white hair, but or Jesus is Raiden. Let's see. Why do I say that? Well,
I am lightning. The
So he has lightning powers. This is probably gonna be what it's like when I pull lightning from this guy and just like, whatever stupid game. I don't understand uh, why they would be like, you would completely make yourself into a super huge hypocrite. You know what I mean? Uh, like everything she claims to be and hate is like she's invalidated every point that she's made about herself, about being an empowered woman, a smart woman, like that her, you know, it's just sexuality and it's not being used in whatever way, blah blah blah. Every point that she's ever made just gets upended, and she just is a massive hypocrite. Like a lot of these women, but she's someone who like talks about it so much she has a goddamn podcast. Like that she like talks about it on. You know what I mean? Like okay. So, this is why um or first, let me go back to this point. Notice how Raiden comes in and he's like got lightning power, and then he has a sword in his mouth, right? And you're like, why does he have a sword in his mouth? And then I was like, oh, well, because in Revelation 19, 1915, and also Revelation, Revelation 1:16, in his right hand he was holding seven stars. The seven Dragon Balls? In his right hand he was holding seven stars. Out of his mouth came a sharp sword, double edged, and his face was like the shun, the sun shining in all its force. Okay, so oh, and they have 14 written on their heads. Hmm. And it,
Run!
wait.
Run!
And he has lightning going around him. And then there's a Z right there. Not like the Russian Z, but like, when it says, I do not be afraid, it is I, the first, the A, and the last, the Z, the Alpha and the Omega. So probably the Z, the Omega, right? Hmm? 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 Um. Okay, so the sword thing, right? He has a sword in his mouth, and you're like, what kind of weird Japanese stuff is this? And then you're like, oh, well, it's actually in the Bible. Um, Write to the angel of the church in Pergamum and say, here is the message of the one who has the sharp sword, double edged. And then later on it says, you must repent, or I shall soon come to you and attack these people with the sword out of my mouth. Hmm. Okay, and then we go later on in Revelation 19:15, or I'll read a little bit. Revelation 19:11 to whatever wherever I stop. And now I saw heaven open up and a white horse appear. Its rider was called Matt Wilkins. His rider was called Faithful and True. He is a judge with integrity, a warrior for justice. Like all these things that Emily Ratajkowska, Imrata wants to stand for, except by attacking me and like trying to beat me over the head with her sexuality and prove like, oh, it's my body. It's like, well, you've linked yourself to me to the point where it's crippled me. And like you're beating me over the head and not helping me. And then when you got caught, all you did was double down on your rapey behavior. So congrats. Everything that you claim to stand for, you're just a hypocrite and a liar. Unless you actually just immediately come out and speak out about it. But I think I've said this enough times to where I don't expect that to happen. So I expect me to pull lightning from the sky and you to be lightning down like these ladies, because I don't even have to hit you with it. I just have to, be the guy who can pull lightning from the sky. And it would probably prove all this other stuff like the volcano and earthquake and just being on the throne of Yahweh. And then, you are fucked beyond all recognition. So I would just suggest it would be reasonable. Any rational person might say, he's probably going to do this. I should probably, not be his enemy. But you are. And like no amount of like signaling subversively through your pictures do I think you're not going to be. You would have to speak with your mouth into public, into like whatever fantasy land that I live in, like whatever the upside down that I live in, where people just lie and like whatever this bullshit is, and you would actually have to like work to fix it. But I don't see her doing that. I just see her continuing the bullshit that she's been doing. So I'm assuming that's why Emily Ratajkowski 4 or Ratajkowska 4, Imrata. And I'm even calling her by the name she wants to be called, Imrata. There you go. His eyes were flames of fire and his head crowned with many coronets, many crowns. The name written on him was known only to himself. His cloak was soaked in blood. He is known by the name the Word of God. Behind him, dressed in linen of dazzling white, rode the armies of heaven on white horses. Here's the part that it's like, oh, this is why. From his mouth came a sharp sword to strike the pagans with. A sharp sword, J, to strike the pagans with. He is the one who will rule them with an iron scepter and tread out the wine of Almighty God's fierce anger. Then this says K. So I don't think it's just kidding. I think it's like, Mr. J. It's almost like the Joker, except not joking, and you're fucked. And then, like, the K or the Yod and the cough, right? So you got two hands and you're about to get punched in the face by both. How does that sound? And then struck by lightning. So, on his cloak and on his thigh, L. Wasn't she doing a Mario thing? So Luigi, there was a name written, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Anyway, a lot of those things that I said later on were jokes, but the from his mouth came a sharp sword to strike the pagans with. I mean, uh, it makes sense of this, doesn't it?
Run.
Except it's not Raiden. It's definitely Yahweh. I mean, not this character, but what he's based off of.
I am lightning. The rain transformed.
Okay, so that's when I pull lightning from the sky, and well, I guess we'll see where it goes from there. But I like I was looking for the thing because I put it in here and I was like the Jerusalem Bible translation. I even put that like specifically, and then I was gonna look for where in here because at one point Imrata here shared uh like her just like she's doing in I'll try to find an example. I mean, I guess whatever's written on the wall here almost looks like it says Ron. But just like it says she, just like it says. Let me find a better one because you can take a lot of these pictures, but some are better than others. Some are more obvious than others, where it's like, okay, you're obviously trying to communicate a point. Um, any and see, or like I think there's a better one that I saw where I was just like, the CY thing I thought was pretty obvious, but it says babe. I mean, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can in our modern society, you can literally have babe written or good yeah, and then it like R would be here. You could literally have something written behind you and like be doing this or something, and like somehow uh like our justice system or whatever, like when the police were when this is how people have been trying to communicate with me and harass me and make me feel bad and doing the shit that she's doing, and uh what's that called? And like when I'm having difficulty, like it's mentally stressful because that's the point, is to mentally distress me and like harass me and make me feel again vulnerable, because you got all these ninja women who are like using their psycho rapey behavior, and they can hide behind being a woman and like, oh, I couldn't do that, blah blah blah. And then like anyway, whatever. So like I would look for a better example. I mean, I guess you can look at like the loaded imagery. Like there's an ATM machine behind her. Oh, 14. There it is. So remember, 14, lightning, 14. Oh, hey. So I guess probably she's going to be struck by lightning at some point, right? I mean, and cash for life. Get it? Um, Not that I think cash is going to have much value. Any like pretty soon, I think there's going to be some kind of like the system breaks under the weight of like, oh, there's this game that's been playing, and like people have been trying to open up a different reality where they literally steal off everybody else's reality. And that would be, I think, what the Nicolations are. And they're using women like Emily Ratajkowski. Watch Emily Ratajkowski and whomever else that they're using to try to beat me over the head and take everybody's reality with. And like, so you can have nothing and they can have everything. Even though, like, again, Yahweh is like, well, I can make all the resources infinite, but they're going to take off limited resources and screw everybody over. And then the people that convince them to screw people over are going to screw them over, because that's how the world works. Only person who's ever going to look out for you is Yahweh, and they would fucking kill Yahweh just like they killed Jesus. Like, looking in Imrata's eyes here, what do I see? Puta rata. Like, I see someone who would literally kill Jesus again to make a few extra bucks and not be, so that she doesn't get criticized for being a whore. I mean, congrats. And, I probably wouldn't judge you if you weren't beating me over the head with your sexuality and being really rapey. But you are. So, congrats. So I'm trying to find this, what's that called? See why? I'm trying to find this, and again, see how like all the stuff she tries to do is like, I represent marginalized. No, no, you don't. You don't represent anything good. You represent everything bad and everything that's a lie and all the bullshit that women hate about women who are like snaky and bullshitty. That is Emily Ratajkowski. Imratakovska. I just, I'm gonna say it like it's spelled. I'm getting tired of trying to fucking correct myself. So Imrata, if I say Emily Ratajkowski, well, welcome to English, where we don't say a V for a W, and SKI is pronounced ski, not ska. Anyway, yeah. Sometimes I like being a little indignant and. Uh, I mean, she deserves it at this point, so it looks like all signs point to she deserves it. Like the point that I was getting at though is I was looking for specifically this picture, right? This one, like, because at one point it was her post, like she posted this mixtape coming 2018. I can't find it. I also was looking for how it says the Jerusalem Bible translation. There's a post that she made in like 2017 or early 2018, somewhere around there, that was, I'm just trying to figure it, it's 2016. Um, 2017. I think this was about the first time, somewhere around here is about the first time I ever like actually saw her. Pretty much a lot of these models. like maybe around May 17th. This might have been the first time I ever saw her because this is when these other two ninja ladies. Remember, there's six of them, but I think probably more than six. It's just how are you gonna fit more in a hallway that is that small? So I'll go with that there were six of them. But you know, how many mixes did I start off with? Stephanie Houston, Haley Bieber. Oh, I guess we can just look, huh? The first few: Stephanie Houston, Haley Bieber. She was Haley Baldwin at that point, and I think she was like I don't know, going on dates with Drake and Travis Scott at that point. So, uh, Stephanie Houston, Haley Baldwin, Sama Hayakadra, Ella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, Imrata. So maybe these are the first six, or I guess since Stephanie Houston's her own Metal Gear Solid character, she's just actually quiet. Maybe that bumps her Imrata to number six. So okay, congrats, you made it in the crew of women that get electrocuted. Uh, but see why? Why? Get it? Also, like the same thing with the loaded imagery. Look, so there's like a series of pictures. I think she really wants to be black. I don't know, but you know, you got like a black couple in the background, and it's a lovely painting. And then, but I think she wants to be the girl, but she's a white lady. I don't know, like, and I don't actually, you know, if you're trying to beat me over the head, like, okay, white people made, I mean, black people made literally a white Joker, like TM. You could trademark it. They literally made the Joker, and like you're gonna attack me and be like rapist lady? Get the fuck out of here. You don't get to be this lady, okay? You don't get to be uh you don't get to be who you want in this situation. You are just, you know, white she devil. This undercover brother, white she devil, and congrats. And definitely ain't working together. So anyway, my points uh some of my points are like just more of this. DKNY, but her fingers over the Y. And then she has a watch on. Uh, let's see, the tile stuff, like in the bathroom. I mean, you can see from all the videos, there's tile in the back that looks like that over the bathroom in our house. Like a lot of this imagery seems loaded. Again, I feel like some kind of AI or some kind of like, you know, it's easy to say an AI because at this point we're like only a few years away from it being really obvious people could be manipulated by AIs that are like operating in the background or whatever, or maybe they just consciously know it. But it's, I think, more likely like some kind of spiritual entity type things. And, you know, it's just easier for me to explain it through AI. But that's what, you know, basically these spiritual entities can do are in some kind of ethereal realm, just like a digital realm, and you know they're in a spiritual realm, and they can manipulate people in pretty similar way. Except I don't think AI and spirit entities are the same thing. I just think it's like okay, you got one kind of ephemeral, like you have a conceptual place that you can't really reach out and touch, and same thing with spirituality. So that's what I'm getting with that. But I can't find these two pictures, and the two pictures are the ones that I'm talking about, where it's like this one, like I can't find this one. So maybe she removed it to make a point, is what I was gonna say. And then the other one is I do have a video. I have at least one or two, maybe three videos. So I could go back and try to find this if I really have to. But where she, you can see that she sits just like just like this is framed to where there's a mirror right there, and the point is that the mirror is there and like she's looking at through the mirror. So like kind of this is exactly what I'm talking about where like the subject is here but her back is turned to you and you're looking in the mirror. This is maybe a good example of what I'm talking about where you have something written on the wall, right? And like you can pretend that that's not what like the point of the thing, right? The picture and say you're not communicating a point, but like I can then point to something like this, and it's like, well, the background thing, the mirror, is actually the what the subject of the fucking photo is, right? And so there's plausible deniability in our modern world where, again, you can be saying a thing just like this picture is a good one. She got married to this guy like right after I like made this stuff. Like she literally went out and married a random guy just to prove a point to me, it seems like, which a number of these women seem to do. But she picked a guy who, I mean, I guess maybe a lot of them don't like the guys that they picked, but she picked a guy who like she just got pregnant and then like divorced him. Now just with a bunch of like random guys that it seems like all sorts of random Hollywood women are doing this just to prove a point, like some kind of rapey, weird point again that invalidates everything they claim to stand for or be, and like turns them into obviously shitty, like abusive women. And like, if I couldn't pull lightning from the sky, maybe it might not be provable. But considering it looks like we're about T minus, like some point where there's a T minus going on, uh, to where lightning comes from the sky, again, 100% sure you're fucked. Like, you're a rapey, shitty person, and you're going to get what you deserve. I would suggest you not be that anymore, and like, stop being a hypocrite. But I don't think she's going to. I don't think a lot of these women are going to. I think Jezebel is going to have to die before, like, literally, uh, like there's enough change to where they look at her and say like to where whatever group of women is like looking at her and like, oh fuck, like you put a lot of like effort and weight behind this person and she is dead exactly like he said she was going to be. And like, remember, you don't die with any hope as like, it's live forever in eternal paradise where all resources are infinite and you have everything you could ever need and all the stuff that like whatever problems you have with the world are fixed beyond your wildest imaginations and just the best thing you could ever fucking imagine, versus you're in like a liquid torture pit that you get tortured to an extreme like infinite degree. I can't even like the worst pain you could imagine is infinitely less than infinity bad, and that's times infinity in time. So, and I'm assuming Yahweh is going to give you enough consciousness to look and be like, at any point in your tiny like your infinitesimally small life compared to the amount of time you're going to spend in the burning torture chamber, that you could have just been like, I changed my mind. I'd rather go to the paradise of everything that I want or need or could ever desire is there, with like connection to the thing that created everything and like meaning to my life. And instead of choosing that, you chose I'm gonna be a rapey woman that invalidates everything that I claim to stand for and be put in a torture pit forever. And like that's what like you're gonna have to sit on that thought for eternity as you like are literally tortured for eternity. It, you know, as indignant as I get with all this stuff, it's like, okay, I guess that does make up for it. I can't, like I'll be taken care of completely. I know for a fact. I can tell with what it says in Revelation, but it also hints that like once we get past a certain point, words can't even describe. Just like I'm saying, there might be new colors, right? You might there's new experiences of things that we can't even conceptualize that lie beyond, right? And then everything good here multiplied by infinity, like anything you'd actually like about life This was my fortune today, by the way. Oh, wrong side. You see that? I mean, it focused for a second, but then it unfocused. Well, it just says you will be surrounded by luxury. Do I believe in a fortune cookie? Uh, I think Yahweh makes his own fortune, and well, looks like he's gonna put me on the throne and make my own fortune. So, um, but okay, last point here, and then I'm getting in bed. I'm looking for the picture where in the background of the picture, just like there's a fridge and a microwave and a hinge, like the hot and cold thing, and I'm hot and cold. So the game is gonna spit me out. I mean, Yahweh's gonna spit me out, and okay. So you have the hinge here. Hey, it's the hinge. You go through all my pictures. It looks like I'm not unhinged. It looks like I'm hinged. Okay, you get it. There was a picture that was up that I can no longer find, and it might be that I'm just overlooking it in my haste. Like here, it says a ring. Like, hey, a ring. We're married, or we're gonna get married. No, lie. Goddamn liar. Uh, also, she has really open eyes, and like it almost looks like her left eye is unaffected. Like a lot of people who I've pointed out, no, their left eye looks affected. Like it looks off, but very subtly, but a lot less than others. So I would only assume she has some kind of like something shielding her in a way uh, that something is shielding her. Honestly, like that's what I think the left eye is some kind of shield, but that maybe like these women that are like bracing their right arm with their left hand, it was that they were holding the sword with their with two. Uh, with two arms, and so it's just they're using a sword as their shield. Um, Maybe she's using just like overt sexuality and you know, I don't know. A ring. I get that it's herring, but like a ring. That's what on the other picture is very clear. Oh, and a mirror. A mirror's in the background, and a mirror, and a mirror, and a mirror. I just don't believe it. Just like okay, lunch. Like right, you get what I'm saying? Like it's framed very specifically in a way, but like I don't look at this point. You gave your food to someone else, right? Specifically to make me feel bad. And like again, this seems to be the thing that I think is crippling me. Like the fact that she and a number of other women that are watching me who I've asked to help me with this have not done it, and so it socially makes it like a norm to like do this thing, which is like taking my agency from me, like participating in the taking of my agency from me, which I think is, again, you're the oppressor. Get it, white lady? You're the oppressor. Like, I get that I'm paler than you, but you're still the, evil, oppressive white lady. So, congrats. Again, invalidating everything that they claim to stand for and are exactly what they claim to hate. It's you. Um, I don't know. I'm basically just trying to find the picture where, and it would have been sometime. It wouldn't be way up here. So I'm gonna I'll give it one last go over. July 2017. So first of all, you'll notice you don't see the thing where it says mix coming soon. Oh, she's wearing the pinky ring as if like I'm saying, if this was a mirror, this pinky ring might suggest this is the thing that I'm looking for. As far as, well, my pinky seems to be the thing. Anal? My pinky seems to be the thing that is like disconnected, that I can't reach out, like that I can't press into the ground, and that I can't reach out and like use my agency. So if she's trying to make the point like she could have at any point helped me, but she decided not to and be like a rapey lady, like I've been saying. Again, I don't think they can get to my body. It seems like when they try, massive catastrophe seems to happen on various places. And I also think the longer this goes and the more I make it obvious, massive catastrophe happens. So at some point, y'all are between a rock and a hard place. And, kill me. I mean, like, this is the whole, like, the martyrs of Jesus. Like I kind of stopped giving a fuck a while ago. Like, I care, but, like, if this was real, which I think it is, this is actually worth dying for. Like fighting for what is actually right according to the Bible is worth dying for. Fighting for Yahweh and Jesus, that's worth dying for. So, anyway, but even then, like when I was in jail, surrounded by like hard, tough guys, most of them seemed to call me Jesus, seemed to think that I looked like Jesus, and hint that, I guess if everybody's watching, they probably thought I was Jesus. And then, and then, you know, just at the same time, like I didn't really have beef with people. Like, being actually kind goes a long way for whatever. Doesn't seem to go far enough to get you guys to stop being rapey assholes, but it goes a long enough way to where you won't get shanked in prison. Maybe people will share commissary with you, and you might share it back with them because, well, you got enough, they got enough, everybody's good. They don't have enough. Well, you can help them out, whatever. Okay, anyway, that's just talking about some basic humanity, something that a lot of these people that I'm looking at constantly seem to lack. Uh, I don't know. Like, so I can't find the mixed thing that I was talking about, and nor can I find the in one of these pictures behind her. There's a Jerusalem Bible, and it's a rare copy of the Bible, right? I mean, it's relatively rare, and I've been very much for a long time making it clear, like, it's like part of my art and what I'm sharing because it's like one of the few Bibles that has the name Yahweh written in it. So, like one of very few translations, like 99% of translations don't actually have the name Yahweh in it, which is absurd. But she happens to have one that does, and just like these, except even more poignantly than even more poignantly than the one that says like a ring, except the other picture actually you could make it out. It's like the thing in focus in the picture that I'm looking for, but I think it was so obvious that she probably removed it. So I don't know. I can't find it anymore. Um, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is just like, okay, all the other stuff that I said, but like, if she deleted the mix video, I mean, the mix picture and the one of uh, where it's like instead of this being the herring book here, it's like the book that's in focus behind her is the book that's the Jerusalem Bible, and it's on her bookshelf. And it's like, okay, so then you know what's right and wrong, and you chose to be wrong. Like you chose to be like I just don't I don't understand it. Like I don't get why you would be like this. See why? Okay, I'm kind of done making this point. I can only beat something over the head, however many times. Like, look, art in background, painting. I mean, mirror, and then like you can see this stuff is kind of out of focus. Oh, hey, pinky ring, anal, mirror. I'm giving just one last go to maybe I can see the picture where TV in the background or whatever that is. Oh, hey, it's that door. It's almost that exact same door that I was talking about. Seems like Maddie has that same door, and then seems like this is just the white version of that door. Hmm. Yeah, I can't. I don't know where. I don't know where this picture is gonna be. I don't see it. But my guess is it's like I think you can like hide pictures so that it's not deleted, but it's like it's just like hidden. And my guess is that is what did, or maybe she just deleted it. I don't know. But okay, respect female existence or expect our resistance. I literally have never like this is it's like she is working for the snaky, terrible, abusive men like she's claiming whatever. She is the abuser here. And like I have like I think I've at I think the worst thing you could claim is that I've said something mean to someone before. And like after they did something mean to me. And like even then it's like not even to the level of whatever. And like it seems to me like the same kind of snaky abusive men are just like the same ones that are using her to like beat me over the head. Because ultimately behind these abusive whatever women, biblically seemingly it seems to suggest there's a snaky abusive man, and she's just willing to be used by the exact same type of men that she fucking claims to all these women are, that they claim to hate or whatever. Oh, they're just 100% willing to be snaky, pretend that they hate him, but actually work for one, and then beat the one guy, probably not the one guy in the world, but like some guy who could actually fix these problems, beat him over the head. And also the social whatever. See, I'm seeing watch here, but I think the thing you should watch is when you get struck by lightning for being a rape. I mean, I don't know. It just comes off as super rapey the way you're using your sexuality, and like I think you wanted to stand for women's empowerment, but you now, like, you're ultimately, when I pull the lightning from this guy, gonna stand for women can be rapists too. Like, right? Without, like, women can use their sexuality to abuse men for no reason. They chose to do it to the wrong guy. They shouldn't be doing it at all, but then they chose to do it for the abusive men against, like, the maybe the one guy who they probably shouldn't, to where the universe itself seems to be reacting and saying, no, you fucked up, you're the one in the wrong. You get it? I mean, it couldn't be more clear to me, but again, I'm the one who's speaking logic and they're the one who's speaking ass backwards lies all the time. So I can say, do you get it? And then they would just be like, yeah, but I wouldn't trust it. So um anyway, that's all I have. I'm kind of done being indignant and and angry and whatever. Um, and yeah, I'm kind of done being angry and indignant and whatever. So hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed one. Just every time I'm just like, well, you could just repent. That's change your mind instead of thinking you're the one in the right, because you're clearly not. But like instead of like trying to pretend like it, or like you're fighting for the oppressed when you're the oppressor yourself, like you could just not be. I mean, Like again, I don't think the way the things react as far as the storms, the volcanoes, the earthquake, like when they killed Jesus, right? Like this, they spear him through and he's dead, and then like the sky darkens and the earth shakes, and like there's clearly a scene at like like the veil of the temple tears from the top to the bottom, indicating like God tore it, like Yahweh tore the veil, and he's like that we're separated, like as far as uh, you have killed my son, right? To the people who are supposed to literally be following him and helping him. That's how he reacted, right? Um, so also think about the tearing of something to get to the holy place, and I talk about virginity a lot anyway, or the piercing of the Christ, and it seems like that's the thing that gets happens again. That would be like that would draw the anger of Yahweh, is that some kind of thing is like the something that's connected to me is sacrificed in a way to some kind of idol that like it kills the person who you've sacrificed, and it obvious that's what I mean, I guess. But I think that they thought, oh, no, it's just be an experience, whatever. And then like I don't think they took it seriously until again you can literally see like it clearly looks like things are reacting in a way where the world itself looks like it reacts more to me than any other person on the planet, right? I mean, come on, like, you not do you really like I can't imagine how you would still be thinking like, no, I'm in the right. Like people don't even like anyway. So when they killed Jesus and like the every like it was very clear they were in the wrong, right? And there's like theophanic events going on that show like, wow, you fucked up. You get it like I think the whole like, oh, Matt now has control over like lightning and stuff, or it looks like I'm developing it if I don't just already have it in conjunction with Yahweh. Definitely looks like it's something that's slowly but surely coming, and I've just given like I've for years have given people time, and they just get meaner and meaner and worse, and it's like at some point there's got to be a breaking point where it's like Yahweh just kills you guys and like and like we start over. And again, it's not just like oh you're dead and like oh I can rest because I don't like life. It's like no, you go to a much worse place. Hell isn't work like hell is just you're dead, right? You get that? Hades, you're just in the abode of the dead. And it's not, I mean, I don't think it's like an eternal torture thing. The second death that Yahweh is going to toss you guys assuredly into, that is what you want to avoid. But it doesn't look like you're going to. It looks like you're going straight into the burning torture lake for all eternity because you want to make some kind of rapey point that invalidates everything you claim to stand for. Again, I don't understand that because most people don't want to be hypocrites, except, you know, it clearly looks like that's what's happening here. So, and it's frustrating. I can't really force people to be good people. They already know what's like good and not good anyway. I mean, clearly make clearly making the points about being on the side of the oppressors. Like if you stand on idly by the thing in the pictures that Emily Ratajkowski, it's like if you stand by while oppression's going on, you side with the oppressor. Bitch, you side with the oppressor then. What the fuck? Like goddamn hypocrite. Like what am I the oppressor here in my room after people have robbed me, thrown me in jail unjustly, like whatever, all the other things that have like people are just watching my private life like I have no privacy in a way that is reasonable, like all this stuff that would point to no, I'm not the oppressor here, like y'all are the oppressor, right? You are the one in the wrong, and still I seem to somehow come out of this more powerful than like and ahead of the game and in the right, it's probably because Yahweh is actually the one who takes the side of the oppressed, right? You get that? When people talk about like, oh, all this Christocentric blah blah blah, pretty much every other religion is considerably more guilty than Christianity about being the oppressor. If people are Christian and oppressing, then they are not Christian. Do you get that? Because that's how that works. You can't do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but be like holding like someone as a slave. You get it? It doesn't work. Okay? So, based on logic, which is something that I seem to have that other people don't, and yet I'm the crazy one, you couldn't be, when people are claiming to be Christian and yet, holding slaves or whatever the fuck the thing is that people are claiming, being racist or whatever, uh, like a majority of all of those instances, it's like, well, then they probably aren't actually Christian. Do you get that? Like, it's not just something you say; it's something you do and live out. Like, and if you aren't, then you probably aren't. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna end this video here. I've ranted for an hour. Um, so I think I made some good points, and if I were Emily Ratajkowski, I'd be probably shitting my pants right now because it looks like uh, it looks like she's gonna be the one struck by lightning. As much as maybe I've been hinting that it's Alessandra Ambrosio. Maybe Alessandra Ambrosio gets saved in all this, and we're actually besties. Though she did say someone else was her favorite DJ yesterday, and honestly, that was like a stab in the back, man. Oof. Well, I guess I'll get over it. All right. Have a blessed one later. Yeah.